Hi guys, quick disclaimer and a little bit of an explanation. Now, we're talking about trans kids, so if you're not here for this ride and what I'm about to say, leave. And also, if you're gonna comment something, I would like you to be respectful. Because of the fact that YouTube actually doesn't allow me to see disrespectful comments or comments with mean words in them. It's not that I remove them or hide certain words. It's not that. I will really not get my feelings hurt even if you tell me to off myself. But what takes me off is the fact that I can't see them. I would see only the beginning of it and then not be able to see your full comment. So be respectful of that. Videos are also moving on Monday now. Scheduled stuff. You get it. I'm a student. So let's continue on. We're talking about trans kids, and it's a touchy subject, and it's gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. But let's dive into it. Now, let's clear out the definition of being trans first, and then let's spill some facts. Now, a transgender person is an individual that has the mental illness called gender dysphoria, as well as being gay. People that are homosexual have a hormonal disbalance in their brain, which aligns them to like the opposite or the same gender or both genders, and that is very important to know. It is a medical condition, so you cannot get rid of it. It just doesn't happen like that. And yeah, with trans people, it is the same thing. It is a condition. It is proven that with trans women, the similarity from a trans woman and a cis woman, or otherwise a biological woman, is very close. When you scan two brains of a cis woman and of a trans woman, they'll be very close. So it is in the brain structure. So to alleviate gender dysphoria and that illness that makes you very uncomfortable in your body, you transition from male to female or from female to male. No more genders than two. Fuck that bullshit. No more genders than two genders. Okay? Okay. Now, you would understand that. That is biology, that is very simple, and that is on the base of acceptance of people when you realize those things. When it comes to children, though, trans people go through a lot of medical procedures, a lot of very serious procedures. One of them is hormone replacement therapy. And trans kids would usually go on puberty blockers. I have a problem with that. It's not with grown adults, because grown adults can understand the concept of infinity as much as possible, because the human brain is actually proven to not be able to understand the concept of infinity. But adults are able to understand that what they're doing to their body is permanent and there's no coming back from it. Adults are able to understand that the decisions that they're making will benefit them. Children, on the other half, cannot understand these things. If a child is too young to be able to have a tattoo, to drive a car, to smoke, drink, take illegal substances, even though nobody should take illegal substances, but if they're too young for that, they're also too young to decide if they wanna, what are you doing? If they wanna have surgery or not, if they wanna change their entire body and personas. Are there success stories when it comes to trans children? Yes, 1,000%. There is success stories when it comes to trans children. It is very obvious that this type of disorder can and will appear in very young people, aka children, but it does not appear in most 5-year-olds. It is actually proven that young children experience gender dysphoria in higher rates than adults, but then they grow out of it. So we need to understand that concept first. Now, the second concept we need to understand very quickly is that money-hungry parents will forever on be money-hungry parents. If you understand. Money-hungry parents will use their transgender children and put them out to do books, to do tours, to talk, to be on shows, just like this child that actually her it's a transgender male to female. So her mother actually is forcing her to do a book, and she even says, hey, my child actually likes doing boy activities more and acts like a boy more, so I have to dress my child overly feminine and dye my child's hair pink and stuff like this so I can prove that it's a trans girl. This is very harmful, because the child then grows up and thinks that they'll disappoint their parents if they actually don't turn out as trans and stuff like this. These parents usually love the limelight. The parents who raise babies, or otherwise known as non-binary babies, are not parents who are raising their children in an open environment. Those are parents that are raising their children in a closed environment. You're not saying you're a boy or a girl, which apparently is closed. You're saying that the child is neither. That, first of all, confuses the child, but second of all, isn't a matter that a child should be forced to understand. Obviously, there's people that don't operate good in the binary. But you're also erasing the fact, and the thing that feminists and all of these progressive movements are always fighting about, which is like, oh, girls don't always have to be overly feminine, and boys don't always have to be overly masculine. But then when that happens in children, I was a tomboy my entire life. I used to run with the boys and fight with the boys, and I wanted to play with them, and I was into cars and not into Barbies. Although I did like my Barbies, I preferred my cars. I remember very vividly on like a Christmas, I wanted a garage for all of my cars. I didn't want like a Barbie doll. I just wanted a garage for my cars. You know what I mean? And this is a very important thing to realize. If your girl is into cars, that doesn't mean that that girl is all of a sudden a boy. You're pushing them into the binary when in fact they want to kind of break out of it. And all of a sudden you're saying, I'm raising my child in a free environment. But at the same time, when we are talking to children, it is not still proven if GMOs in food actually harm children in their growth, but you're all of a sudden going to put them on hormone blockers, which we don't know enough about at all, and you're going to put them on hormone replacement therapy, even though you're putting it to children that still cry when they see a needle. I think that's severely wrong, especially if it turns out that child is actually not trans and this is a thing pushed on by their parents. And again, are we gonna see cases of people transitioning later on in life and feeling that when they were children? Yes. Should we allow children to express freely? Yes. But if I had a child and that child turns out to say, hey, I would really like to cut my hair short. If I have like a baby girl, I'll like cut my hair short. I want to act like a boy. Sure, you can cut your hair short. I'm not gonna have a problem with it. It's hair. You can act however you want. If you don't want to wear dresses, you're not gonna wear dresses. I'm not gonna force you to do that. You're not forced to play with Barbies. You're not gonna be forced to be a ballerina. But the thing is, that is openness. That is not telling my kid, oh, you're transgender. Because let's be honest, if a kid doesn't understand the infinity of seeing themselves at 50, 60, 70 in the casket, living as a boy or a girl, and they don't even understand the concept of them being 50, 60, 70, how are you gonna tell them, oh, transition, do this permanent thing to your life, especially when it's to kids? That actually fully changes them, fully transitions them, especially if they haven't gone to the puberty that they're supposed to go through, and they go through the opposite. Of course, it's gonna do damage to them if they actually decide to not transition. This should be left up to adults, so it doesn't harm any kids, because it is harming them. Even if they are trans, it is still not okay, because hormone replacement therapy sterilizes you. So when these kids grow up, they will not be able to have children of their own, and they didn't have anything to like save, like no semen or eggs to save, to freeze, and to have when they grow up and they want to build a family and they want to have children of their own. They don't have that. So you're stunting them from that, but at the same time, you're also harming them by pushing something on them, because most of these cases are pushing. Most of these cases are like a parent is trans, so now the kid is all of a sudden trans, which there's no genetic link of that happening. So why would you do that to your children? Because you want to be woke? Because you want to be woke? Are you for real? Again, if a kid is not old enough to get a tattoo, if a kid is not old enough to have the right to drink, to have sexual intercourse, to drive a car, to get their ears pierced without a parent, they are not supposed to be able to change their gender. Is that a concept we can't understand? Genuinely, leave the children to be children. Don't involve them in gayness. Don't involve them in transgenderness. Don't involve them in drag. Don't. Because these are things left for the adults. Channels like Queer Kids stuff shouldn't exist, because being queer or being gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever is not supposed to be a topic for children, because it's not a concept that children can understand. Okay. So you need to realize that, you need to understand that, and you need to stop involving kids in politics and mind games and stuff like this, because kids are supposed to be pure. Let kids be kids, and don't involve them in social politics, and don't involve them in some sort of movement, because at the end of the day, you're harming your child like that. If they become a teenager and they decide to do this, obviously I've decided to do this, nobody was forcing me to that. My parents are strongly against that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing this if I was like a 5-year-old, you know? And a 5-year-old doesn't understand these things. Make it make sense. With all of these things, just think about it, make it make sense, and stop pushing children to do things that they're not supposed to do. Cool? Cool. This was something I needed to get off my chest. So if you agree with me, hit a like, comment down below that you like my beautiful face, and also I would love if you subscribed. And if you disagree with me, please be very respectful in the comments so I can actually read your opinion, see your opinion, and actually be able to understand it and see your point of view. Thank you. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye!